It's okay. It's fine. This is the main part of the lesson anyway. Okay, so wherever you get, when you get done dividing initially by the factor, I know it's going to have a remainder of 0, obviously. When I get done doing that, I have to factor this. Can this factor this trinomial? How do I factor this? You have to remember back to what we did a little earlier, like a chapter or two ago. How should I factor this? Read it what? Backwards. So I'm asking myself what question? Multiplies to be 3 and adds to be 4. What's the answer? 3 and 1. So I put 2 sets of parentheses. X and X. 3 and what? 1. And it's a sum, so the signs are the same. They're both what? Plus, plus. This also should equal what? 0. These should be factors, obviously. So what are my answers here? X is negative 3, X is negative 1. And what's the other one? Negative 5. I already had that one. So I'm going to put that on my graph. Okay. Now, I don't think this says to graph it, does it?
No.
I'm just showing you what it would look like. But I know a lot about this, because this is going to be the next assignment, is how to graph this. Because I know it has 3 zeros, it was to the 3rd power, it was positive on the x cubed. I know about the end behavior. If it's positive with x cubed, which way should it go? Start low and what? High. Okay. So 3rd power is going to start low and high. So I'm going to come up. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go up. And I can even figure out these points. How can I figure out these points? Well, I know it's halfway between those 2 points. What's halfway between negative 1 and negative 3? Negative 2. I can plug negative 2 into that top equation. Find f of negative 2, and it'll tell me how far down that's going to go. This is just a sketch, so I'm not worried about it right now. But I could do that at negative 2, and I could do that at negative what? 4, because negative 4 is halfway between negative 5 and negative 3. I can find out all that stuff on that graph and be able to figure it out, the lowest and the highest points. But I can tell you that that's what it looks like. Now, this one doesn't ask you to what? Graph it. The next one will, okay? This one doesn't ask you to graph it. This one just asks you to use division. It doesn't have to be long division. It can be synthetic or long. If you're comfortable with this, Isaac obviously is, go ahead and do it. And you'll still get the same answer. From this answer, what will you do? You'll have to factor it, okay? Let's try a couple more. Oh, good. It's okay. Okay, let's try number 3. How come I'm trying number 3 especially? Look at all the problems on that page and tell me why number 3 might be harder.
It's to the 4th power.
It's to the 4th power. So that automatically makes it look as if it's harder. Now, by the way, the polynomial that I just got, that x squared polynomial, that's what we call a depressed polynomial. It needs antidepressants in order to go back to where it was. But, okay, that was funny. You know, jokes don't seem the same when I have a mask on. I don't understand it. But, all right. So anyways, it's called a depressed polynomial. So any depressed polynomial also will be a factor. So that's what I'm going to do here. I have x to the 4th. What's the rest of it? X to the 4th what? Somebody tell me. Plus 3x cubed minus what? 13x squared minus 15x, right? Okay. What's the common factor? X. Yeah. X is the common factor. That leaves x cubed plus 3x squared minus 13x minus 15. All over what is it?
X minus 3.
X minus 3, right? Okay, this x could be set equal to 0. So x equals 0. That's one of the what? Zeros. That's that x right there. It's equal to 0. I don't need it anymore because that's one of the zeros. Okay, that's one of the factors. Well, if x minus 3 would have went into this originally, guess what x minus 3 is going to go into? The depressed polynomial. If it's a factor of the original, it will still be a factor of the depressed. Okay? If it's a factor of the original, it's still a factor of the depressed. Whatever made you depressed, it's still there. Don't cry, Alejandro. I mean, I know you're depressed and all, but it's these depressing polynomials, it just happens. Okay, so there's a couple ways I can do this. I can either do synthetic division by 3, or I can just do the regular long division. I'm going to do both, and then you can see which one you want to do. So I'm going to write x minus 3, but I'll walk you through the other type here in a minute. What goes in the first box? That box right there. Vx cubed. Yep, very simple. And then some of you have gotten really good at this now. You just say, what times to be x, or what do I got to times x by to make x cubed? What is it? X squared. I got to multiply x squared to the negative 3x squared. And then I look at the original and say, God, I wish that wasn't negative 3x squared. I wish it was what? Positive 3x squared. How do you add or subtract to go from negative 3x squared to positive 3x squared? You got to add 6x squared. Boom, that's that one. X goes into the 6x squared, 6x. And then I times it, negative 18x. God, I wish that negative 18x was what? Negative 13x. How do I go from negative 18 to negative 13? You add 5x. Okay, so that's going to be a 5. This is going to be my last one because, again, I ran out of numbers here. So I'm going to do 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. Hey, I wish it was negative what? 15. So this is going to be a what? 0. Did I expect it to be a 0? Absolutely. All these are going to end up with a remainder of what? 0. Because it tells me it's a factor, obviously. So by the way, what's another one of the zeros? Besides just 0, what else is another 0? Well, x is 3. Okay, that came from the denominator. That's another 0. How many zeros do I expect for this one? 4. It's always the highest exponent. On the last problem, the exponent was 3, and how many zeros did I have? 3. Now I have 4. How many zeros do I expect? 4. Okay, so I'm going to take x squared plus 6x plus 5. That came from right there. That's what I got when I divided it. Now I'm going to just factor that. Again, I read it backwards. What times to be 5 and adds to be 6? 5 and 1. X and x. 5 and 1. It's a sum same plus plus. I have a lot of kids that want to write 5 and 1 are the zeros. Don't write 5 and 1, write what? Set this equal to 0. Solve. What am I going to get? Negative 5 and what? Negative 1. Those are the answers. Everybody got it? Very simple. That's how you do it. I'm going to show you synthetic division just in case you're interested in doing it what I think is faster. I'm just going to take that and put a 3. That's actually my 0, by the way. Take the 3, take the 1, 3, negative 13, negative 15. Where did those numbers come from? Yeah, the coefficients. Okay? Drop the first coefficient. In this case, it's a 1. Now I just multiply and add all the way across as fast as I can. 3 times 1 is? Say it out loud with me. 3 times 1 is? 3 plus 3 is? 3 times 6 is? 18 minus 3 is? 5. 3 times 5 is? What's my remainder? Which is good. Now I just go 1 degree less than the original. The original was x cubed, so this is going to be an x what? Squared. That's key to remember. Whatever this exponent was, this is 1 less. Then this becomes what? 6x plus what? 5. And then I would do the same thing I did right there. Everybody got it? That's how you're going to do it. Okay, let's do one way with the coefficient in front. So let's do like number 8. Why is number 8 harder than some of the others? Has a coefficient in front of the x cubed. Why else? The divisor is 5x plus 3. It has a coefficient. Can I use my synthetic division? I could, but it would be use a fraction. So really I'm just going to say no, because you don't want to deal with fractions if you don't have to. So I'm going to do it just the way the normal way that we've been doing long division all the time. But what is one of the zeros on this question? On number 8. What's one of the zeros? What's the 0 it's really giving you by giving you the divisor? Negative 3 what? Fifths. I would set that equal to 0 and solve. Can everybody see that? See the 5x plus 3? I'm going to set that equal to what? 0, solve it. My first 0 that I know for sure on this one is negative 3/5. That's one of my zeros. That's one of my answers. How many answers do I expect on this one?
3.
I expect 3. I've only got 1. I'm going to find the others by dividing and then using my depressed polynomial to find the other zeros by factoring. Okay, what do I want to put in the first box? 25 what? X cubed, right? How many times does 5, or what do I have to multiply 5x by to get 25x cubed?
5x squared.
5x squared, good. 5x squared times 3 is 15x squared. What do I wish it was? 150x squared, holy crap. All right, well, I'm at 15, I gotta get to 150, what do I gotta have?
35x.
I gotta have 135x squared, okay? Well, 5 times what will be 135?
27.
Okay, I'll believe you. Should I believe him? I don't know. What's 27 times 5? Somebody check that. I mean, who said that anyway?
135.
Holy cow, Isaac. Pretty smart, dude. All right, so I'm gonna do 27x. 27 times 3, I know that one, that's 81x, okay? But I wish it was what? What do I wish it was? 131, it's 81. How do I go from 81 to 131? 50, right? So I gotta put 50x right here. This will be my last one, because I'm running, again, I don't have an x in this top anymore. How many times does 5x go into 50x? 10. So that's gonna be just plus 10 there. And this is gonna be a 3. And then I got 10 times 3 is what? 30. And by the way, I need what? 30, which is good, because I expected that to happen. My remainder is 0. I expected that. Okay. Now I have this though. 5x squared plus 27x plus 10. Son of a buck. That's hard. How come? You got the number in front of the square, so I can't just simply read it backwards. How did I learn to do this then? Box method. Yep, that's what this is asking us to do. So I'm going to do the box method, and some of you may have forgot how to do that. So I'm going to review it with you. I put in the 5x squared there, and I put in the 10 there. What's 5x squared times 10? 50 what? X squared. So it's got to multiply to be 50x squared, and then it's got to add. How come it has to add? The last sign there. It has to add to be what? 27x. Or sorry, yeah, 27x. So multiply to be 50x squared and add to be 27. What are the factors of 50? 2 and 25. Woo-hoo! I've already got it. How come 2 and 25 will work? Well, what's 2 plus 25? What's 2 plus 25? 27, right? What's 2 times 25? 50. So those are the two I want to use. So I'm going to say, okay, I got to use a 2x and a 25x. Again, if you multiply those, you get 50x squared. If you add those, you'll get 27x. So those are the ones I want to use. Those are the factors of 50 I want to use. Where do I put the 2 and the 25?
In the box, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, in the box. 2x and what? 25x. Does it matter?
No.
Doesn't matter. Wherever you want. So are you guys transferring or are you staying here?
We're transferring. She's working on it.
Okay, good enough. All right, because I can give you one of these if you're staying. All right, what do I want to factor out for the common factor here? 5 what? X. So yeah, factor out the 5x. What's the common factor here? 2x, or just 2, because the x isn't in the 10. Now factor straight up. What do I get? Just an x, because the 5 and 2 aren't common factors. What about the 25 and the 10? What goes into both? 5. So I got x plus 5 and what? 5x plus 2. Set those equal to what?
0.
0. What are my other zeros? I've got negative 3/5. This one will give me -5, and what else will I have?
-2/5.
-2/5. Those are all my zeros. Everybody see how I got those? Just set it equal to 0, subtract 2, divide by 5, so this equal to 0, subtract 5. That's how I did all those. Okay? Let's try another one. You're good now.